So, I'm on my way to get my boots, and we'll start out the day here with a little bit of talk of this cast iron mantle clock. You don't see a lot of these. I'd really like to find this other emblem to match this side. Then this thing would be complete. It's a shame it got painted. So, oh well. I got another one just like this, I think, or maybe this is the original. I can't remember. So, I've been inundated with different things, like putting this up with free styrofoam and gathering free insulation and working on a lab set and working on a cupboard drawer for a customer and refinishing a light from a fire and putting LED lights in it, hanging and collecting fun signs and moving couches around and restoring brass things. So, go get my boots. This is this fun little brass thing I got here. It's being used as an ashtray right now, but I would like to get this luster back on here. Man, this is so pretty. And what I really like is this banding down here. This was originally, probably in the kings and queens times, could have, solid gold. Wouldn't it be cool to get enough gold to make this just to have it laying around your house? But I'm a long ways from that. But I can probably replicate this and gold plate it. And that would be pretty cool, especially since there's all this detail. Look at how detailed, man. The cherubs and the wings and the grapes and the flowers, the pedestals. Alright. Homemade custom sign. This was a super score, by the way. And I'll talk about this more later on in another video, or we'll get to that. Let's see. Where to start? Alright. I guess we'll do a short little tour of things I'm currently working on. There's so many. Knife I like to restore, and I restored, but it's also my farm knife, and I'm able to puncture paint cans and do other things, but it's got a pretty decent edge still. And I'll keep it pretty sharp. So, it's a jabber. It's a full tang knife. This is one of my most recent things right here I'm getting into. It's welding. And man, didn't have a use for it yet, but this is probably going to become some sort of drill press project that I've been putting together in my head. Now, if you don't have a Habitat for Humanity, I feel sorry for you. It's like a super thrift store, like a Salvation or a Donate store that people come by, give their stuff, and they sell it for decent prices usually. This is fantastic for $2. If I would have had to buy that, I got no idea. New down at the local steel shop, I'd say $50. Some of my free hose that had a mud dauber's nest in it, and I've slowly been working it out. It's got a tiny little spring leak, but it works for what I need it for. This gas can I just acquired here. This is going to be deco around what's that? Some white lithium grease? Sort of feels like. Definitely sellable. Need to get it out of the rain. For sure. This torn apart. I need to check if this thing has spark, because I fixed this and hoping to get it running. Never pulled the spark plug on it because I got doing other things. So this needs to go to the back the new storage shed, which I'm working on, which was the chicken yard. So, this runs, it's just plugged, and I got all the parts to it. Another thing, I got some bike projects back here. I'm working on making a motorized trike, maybe a rocket trike, jet rocket. So, got a couple different pieces that are going to come apart here. Let's go to the greenhouse. Figured I'd get a little bit of 2 trampolines. They were both free. One's a 14, one's a 15. One of these might be turned into part of a low tunnel because I have more pieces. And greenhouse bound. And some greenhouse. I've got remnants of some summer projects here. Trying to get things tidied up before winter. This bay door needs to be readjusted, and that's why it's boarded up. Well, it's almost Thanksgiving in mid-Michigan, and the greenhouse is nice. Remnants of a tomato project. It's easier to tie tomatoes than it is to cage them, and anybody will tell you that, and these just were tomatoes that did not get put in the ground, and they got set in the greenhouse, and they grew through these tiny little 1-inch pots, producing me a whole bunch of tomatoes. So, I was kind of waiting for them to die off with the frost and cut down the string. More of that later, I guess. Some of the greenhouse parts that we're working on to get things set up so the greenhouse can be profitable. We're doing markets, or trying to do markets, amongst all of my other crazy projects. Got some volunteer radish going on in there. Lots of flower pots. And this is part of the greenhouse I sectioned off so I wouldn't have to heat so much of it. Remnants of a summer harvest project. But that's how I heat everything there. Is we have pellet stove. It's very efficient. Just a few things. Haas cedar. This is all going to be lined with pots all the way up and down the racking on all the sides. This wall will probably come down. Not sure yet. I might have a cold room and a hot room with different varieties. Drip irrigation so everything can be automated. Hopefully that's coming real soon. Like I said, I got a tractor storage building I'm working on for the walk-behind tractor and the garden tractors. And some coops I built that I'm going to maybe connect together. Roofs being built.